Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, An Average Joe. Today in this video I'd like to go through and unbox a new purchase of an Exped Ultra 3R Mummy synthetic mat, air mat. This one in particular is the LW, which I believe stands for long and wide, or hoping it is anyway. That's what I wanted. So yeah, this little thing, air mat. Let's get to it. Right, I wanted to make this clear first of all that this isn't a paid promotion. I'm paying for this out of my own money. And the reason that I'm doing it is because my old faithful mat, another Exped mat, I've had it since 2010, so it's a good 13 years old. I think it's 2010. It's finally giving up the ghost. The pump, it's got a built-in hand pump, that doesn't work. It's deflating several times. I'll explain that in a different video about some kit failures. It deflates several times within the night. That's of course not great for a comfortable night, and definitely disturbed sleep. But with this mat, I've used it a lot. This particular bit of kit, it's kind of expected that. I'm not entirely surprised that it's now on its way out. It's also it's previous technology. It's very warm. It's considered at least a 4-season mat, and like I say, it's done me well, but it weighs 850 grams, nearly 900 grams, and the pack size is quite big. So hence the reason why I've bought this. Now, to give you some figures, and I'll just show you along the table if I can on here, unbox it, to give you some figures that I've handily written down. Like I said, my older mat, which is this one here, it's a rectangle shape and it's the normal length and normal width. Not a mummy shape, so I found it a little bit narrow on the shoulders, especially if you laid on your back. So that can not be the most comfiest. You know, sleeping on a mountain is a bit of a compromise anyway. You've got to make compromises. But so 900 grams. This is around about, I believe, 470 or 472 grams. So there's a real significant weight saving. The pack size is about 25 centimetres, and I know with the other one that I've measured, the Downmat is 31 centimetres, so you're saving 6 centimetres there off the length, and the Downmat pack size is a fair bit wider as well. So this, right off the bat, is that sort of usual while camping weight size saving exercise. It's not as, the rating isn't as warm as the Downmat, because this is a synthetic mat and it's rated to this now standardised R system. So this is a 3R, but this is documented to go down to around about -5. That's its limit. And I think for what I do a little bit of winter while camping, but it's not going to be much below freezing. And a lot of British nights can be frosty and can be around about freezing, slightly below freezing. So with my 3-season bag and silk liner that I already have, I think I don't think it's much of a compromise. But this is also longer in the torso, so it's 197 centimetres compared to my old one, 185. So 12 centimetre, good 12 centimetres longer. So I'm just looking at my notes here. And compared to my old bag, which was 57 wide, quite narrow in the shoulder, this is actually 8 centimetres wider, so 65 wide on the shoulder. They're both around 7 centimetres. I think this is half a centimetre less thick, if you like. Not as thick as I am, but still roughly the amount of depth to the mat. And this retails at, I believe it's not particularly cheap, at £190. I think online you find it between £150 and £180 at the moment. So it's not exactly cheap, but it is a high-end quality mat. So what I'm going to do is point it down the table. There we go. And I'll try and get this in shot. So I got the bag up and inside, which is quite a natty little way of doing this. You've got your repair kit in there. It's in a little sleeve on the flap at the top, so you can always locate it, because usually these things drop out when you open the bag or take the mat out. What this does come with, I'll explain that in a little bit, comes with a freebie as well to help inflate it. You've got the bag, nice subtle colour, not a nice bright colour. So you get the mat, inflation and deflation points, so in and out. There's a level of synthetic insulation in this as well. What you get with this, you get a kind of a schnozzle bag, if you like. And it's a dry bag, can be used as a dry bag, but it's got a valve on it, and you can fill it full of air, and it should inflate that quite quickly. So we'll give it a go. So I've laid these mats out. My existing one, my old Downmat, is there. I haven't inflated this yet. I'm going to do that in a separate bit to let you see me struggle inflating it. But you can see the toes are end to end as best I can line them up. You can see how much longer that mat is. I'm just under 6 foot and not exactly slender. I'm about 100 kilograms, so having something a little bit longer and wider will be quite a comfort for me. And you can see visually that across the shoulders there, you can see the difference in the width to where my shoulders went on this Downmat. And considering this is not far off half the weight and the pack size is smaller, yeah, it's looking promising so far. So there's a very good chance you are going to see me struggle here, but warts and all, I'm going to try and inflate this mat with this schnozzle bag. Schnozzle being this thing at the end. Not sure whether Exped call it that, maybe Thermarest do, but yeah. So let's get to it. Right. In for in. Probably see my bald spot here, but that valve goes on there. That's quite an easy click. And now you open this bag. Help it on its way a little bit. Get some air filled in it. This is my first time doing this, by the way. So you've got to capture some air in it somehow. Like that. And fold it up like that. and squeeze. Didn't get a lot of air in it that time, but all right, okay, well, yeah. Not the quietest thing. I guess it's very light and it's free air, isn't it? So, let's see if I can do a better technique here. I might have to do some clever editing on this video as well. Can I keep the air in it? As we do that, squeeze that out, and it's gone a bit quicker there. I suppose it's the lightest option, isn't it? How long this is taking, maybe you can time me. Actually, once you get used to the technique, I see you doing it quite easily, but having said that, doing it in a tent with no head height, there's not much effort involved. It's just a bit of flapping and a bit of messing around really, but that's the fourth go. It's getting there. Seen others online do it, seemingly doing it a lot easier than I am. There. Keeping the schnozzle free is one of the secrets as well. That's 5 goes. Actually, that went up pretty good. One more time. Okay, that's a better one. Yeah, that's good. The 6 goes at that. Don't know how long it took me, 2 or 3 minutes. And we'll take, there should be a non-return valve. I'll take that out. Voila. So it's very light. Oh, floating away. Right. So, you can see straight up my nose. That's actually, well, that's quite comfortable. It's probably overinflated actually. I could do letting a little bit of air out, but yeah, it's a bit narrow on the toes, but that's what mummy shapes do. But it's definitely wide enough on the shoulders here, and definitely if I move up and get my almost 6 foot frame into there, onto it with no problems. Definitely wide enough on the shoulders as well. So yeah, so far so good. So there we go. This is the Sinmat against the Downmat rectangle normal. You can see the difference in the lengths. Slightly wider on the shoulder as well. This Sinmat is so much lighter. Obviously I've got to test it in the field and on a colder mountain to really get a gauge on the thermal properties of it, but it is rated down to -5. So I trust that the information that Exped give out is correct. There you go. You can see the mummy shape as well. Narrow at the toe. So it's definitely long enough in the body, wide enough in the shoulders, light enough, and some thermal quality to the mat as well. pack size is smaller. So yeah, I'm looking forward to testing it out in the field, so to speak. So I'll try and summarise and give some pros and cons and conclusions about this new mat that I've splashed out on. Certainly the pros for me are it's much lighter than what I'm used to. It's longer in the body, the mat is longer in the body, it's wider at the shoulders, and it still retains the 7 centimetre thickness of the depth of the mat from the floor. And there's a layer of insulation in there, synthetic insulation, giving it a 3-hour rating, and it says that that's down to maximum -5. The downside is the price. It's a premium product. I might have seen actually £144 somewhere online, but the suggested retail at some point has gone on to, can be up to 190. So it'd be somewhere in between that, £145 and £190. That is not an insignificant amount of money. After the expedition I've just had, the wild camping exped in the scaffold range, this is worth the expense, although you know, for me money doesn't grow on trees, so, and I'm sure it doesn't for a lot of you guys, so it's had to be a very considered purchase. I did look at cheaper options, and certainly the OEX Flux 5, that's a 3-hour as well, 3-hour rated, looked promising. I think for a lot of you more slender guys and girls, it's a narrower item, it's a narrower mat, it's a shorter mat, but for anybody under 6 foot should be okay, and of course a more slender build than me, but it is a good centimetre and a half less deep, if you like, off the ground. It's 5.5 centimetres, I think. So the OEX Flux is decent, and I think that I saw that online at about 55 quid through Blacks maybe. I believe it's around about 65 quid recommended retail price, but don't quote me on that. Have a look online and go into some shops and price them out. So that was an option, but for me I wanted the bigger bag and still a small pack size. So, but hey, proof is in the pudding, and I'm going to give it a test in my new tent as well, and that's another that's for another video, and also refers back to a bit of a challenging exped that had where gear failed. So yeah, I'm hopefully going to do some footage of me testing it in the field and give you some thoughts on how the mat and the tent perform compared to my older stuff. So that's it from me. I hope you've gotten something positive out of this this video and my thoughts and ramblings. Please like and subscribe. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts and comments and experiences as well. So right, I'll let you go and see you for the next one.